my most treasured possession now. This piece of gum is, at nights, I just stick it at the end of the bedpost, and it's as good as ever in the mornings. A bit hard at first, maybe, but it soon softens up again after I've given it a few good chews. Before I started chewing for the world record, I used to change my piece of gum once a day. I used to do it in our elevator on the way home from school. Why the elevator? Because I like sticking the gooey piece that I just finished onto one of the elevator buttons. Then the next person who came along and pressed the button got my old gum at the end of his or her fingers. Haha. And what a racket. They kicked up, some of them. You get the best results with women who have expensive gloves on. Oh yes, I failed to be good going to Mr. Wonka's factory, and I understand afterwards he's going to give me enough gum to last me for the rest of my whole life. Whoopee, hooray! Beastly girl, and said Grandma Josephine. Despicable, said Grandma Georgina. She'll come to a sticky end one day, chewing all that gum. You see if she doesn't. And who got the fourth golden ticket, Daddy? Charlie asked. Now let me see, said Mr. Bucket, peering at the newspaper again. Ah, yes, here we are. The fourth golden ticket, he read, was bound by a boy called Mike Tivy. Another bad lot, I'll be bound, muttered Grandma Josephine. Don't interrupt, said Mr. Bucket. The TV household, said Mr. Bucket, going on with his reading, was crammed like all the others with excited visitors when our reporter arrived, but young Mike TV, the lucky winner, seemed extremely annoyed by the whole business. Can you fools see I'm watching television? He said angrily. I wish you wouldn't interrupt. The 9-year-old boy was seated before an enormous television set with his eyes glued to the screen, and he was watching a film in which one bunch of gangsters was shooting up another bunch of gangsters with machine guns. Mike Tilley himself had no less than 18 toy pistols of various sizes hanging from belts around his body, and everyone now and again he would leap up into the air and fire off one half a dozen rounds from one or another of these weapons. Quiet, he shouted, when someone tried to ask him a question. Didn't I tell you not to interrupt? You're so an absolute whiz-banger. It's terrific. I watch it every day. I watch all of them every day, even the fumbly ones where there's no shooting. I like the gangsters best. They're terrific, those gangsters, especially when they start pumping up each other full of lead, or flashing the old stilettos, or giving each other the 1, 2, 3 with their knuckle dusters. Oh boy, what I give to be doing myself. It's the life, I tell you. It's terrific. It's terrific. That's quite enough, snapped Grandma Josephine. I can't bear to listen to it. Nor me, said Grandma Georgina. Do all children behave like this nowadays? Like these brats we've been hearing about? Of course not, said Mr. Bucket, smiling at the old lady in the bed. Some do, of course. In fact, quite a lot of them do, but not all. And now there's only one ticket left, said Grandpa George. Quite so, sniffed Grandma Georgina, and just as sure as I'll be having cabbage soup for supper tomorrow. That ticket'll go to some nasty little beast who doesn't deserve it.